Welcome to the Food Science Snob. Hey guys, I'm back with another episode, and I know I went missing in action again. I'm sorry, I apologize, but this break was just so crazy for me. I mean, I had a full-time job, basically, where I was working like 10 hours a night, every night. It was crazy. I went to North Carolina to visit family. I got accepted into a conference, which I am super excited about, and I will talk more about maybe later, but that's later this month in Chicago, so I've been trying to get preparations ready for that, and it's just been a very packed last couple of weeks. So I was going to put this episode up around Christmas, but I didn't have the time, and I apologize for that. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the episode, shall we? Okay, so each year, millions of Americans gather around Chinese restaurants for Christmas Day. In fact, Christmas and Christmas Eve are some of the busiest days for American Chinese restaurants. And it's become a tradition to go to these restaurants, especially for non-Christian immigrants. It started in about the 1800s in New York, when people of non-Christian heritage wanted places to eat on these holidays, and it's just stuck and become a typical thing. So I've actually had Christmas Day lunch with my mom at a Chinese restaurant at one point in time, so it's a very common thing for people to do. So for this reason, we're going to talk about the Chinese food's biggest myth, and of course you probably already know what it is. It involves the infamous MSG. Dun dun dun. MSG is a commonly added to Chinese foods, and it's a very controversial food additive, and it actually has been since like the beginning of its introduction to the food system. And I mean, just like a quick Google search of MSG will immediately draw you down a path of some very scary websites and topics like, does MSG give me cancer? Does MSG give me headaches? Is it giving me heart palpitations? Like, people really think that MSG is out here just to kill you. And 4 out of 10 Americans actively try to avoid eating MSG, but like, why? Let's get snobby. Okay, so MSG is short for monosodium glutamate. It is a common food additive, and it's used to enhance flavor. So in the West, this manufactured additive has been blamed for a number of adverse reactions like headaches, sweating, flushing, numbness of the face and neck, palpitations, nausea, chest pain, sleepiness, all things known in America as Chinese restaurant syndrome. But no matter how many efforts scientists try to make, there is always someone who says MSG gives them headaches or intestinal problems. Maybe they do, everybody's body reacts differently, but for the majority of us, it's safe. It's been FDA recognized as safe in 1959. So people believe that the history for this relationship with MSG is brought by bad science with a little bit of racism, because, when this tradition started happening, it was during the gold rush, and people were not really, what's the word I'm looking for? Open to people of Chinese descent, because they thought they were stealing their jobs and stealing the gold and the gold rush and all that fun stuff. So people think that, Chinese restaurant syndrome, the name for that little title came from like a racist past of people trying to push Chinese immigrants out of America. A lot of things have in America, but especially now, there's this big trend where everything is supposed to be natural, simple, old-fashioned, back to the roots. And we've literally been brainwashed to believe that science is scary, which is absolutely insane to me, because for centuries, the world was based on how to get better, how to science better, how to, we learned in school about all these great inventors and all these, and like science was the new up and coming thing, and now we're scared of science, which is just a crazy turn of events for me. I mean, this fear of MSG is so crazy that it's literally been banned in certain cities and provokes irrational fear in so many consumers. But all it is a sodium ion attached to glutamate. And glutamate is just an anion of glutamic acid, which is a neurotransmitter, and it sends chemicals to your nerve cells to signal them. So, like, it's something your body literally produces naturally and needs to function. like all it's doing, it's basically like adding salt or any other lower use seasoning or something like that. It just enhances the flavor of your food. So why are we giving it such a bad rep for literally no reason when science literally shows that it's not causing it? If you don't want the wonderful umami flavor that comes from MSG, then don't eat Chinese food. Anyways, let's talk more about what MSG is so that, we can all be clear about this amazing scientific invention that you should be eating and enjoying, because that's what it was invented for. So, MSG is a man-made version of an amino acid, which glutamic acid, which I already stated, and it's naturally found in foods like seaweed, parmesan, anchovies, miso, cured meats like salami, ripe tomatoes, and is known for its deep, savory, tasty flavor called umami, which is also known as the fifth taste after sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Those are the five tastes, as you wouldn't say if you were like in culinary school or something like that. So yeah, this additive was invented by a Japanese chemist in 1908. It was patented as he extracted it from seaweed and stabilized it with the salt to create the MSG that we know today. Is there evidence that MSG is bad for you? No, there is not. A 2009 paper in the Social History of Medicine illustrates how bad these studies actually were, if you don't believe me and you want to take someone else's word for it. Oh, don't get me started on rat and mice tests, because, guys, are we rats? Are we mice? No, we're not. So it's not going to affect our bodies the same way that it affects other animals. And they always overdo it. Like, no one's going to sit there and eat, like, MSG all day, every day. Like, these tests are not accurate. These tests are literally designed to help curate results that will give these researchers the answers that they're looking for. But as we now know, with accurate data that has been tested over and over and over again, MSG is safe, and it is FDA approved as generally safe to eat. It's on the FDA GRAS list. So yeah, MSG is not bad for you. MSG is not causing you headaches. Chinese restaurant syndrome is not a thing. Another common myth is that MSG is way more high in sodium than just like NaCl or table salt would be. And this is not true. So MSG is the purest form of glutamate, and it's joined with sodium. MSG actually has a lower sodium content on a teaspoon-to-teaspoon basis than table salt, and it helps to enhance the flavor of sodium in your food. So you can use less and get more of an intense flavor. You can actually use about 1/3 amount of MSG for every teaspoon. 1/3 teaspoon for every 1 teaspoon you would use of NaCl table salt. So MSG is actually a great creative solution to reduce sodium without compromising flavor. So yeah, maybe we should all do a little bit more research before we just assume all these bad things. And I think that MSG is great, and I love salty food. So like, if you don't want MSG, give me your MSG, because I will gladly take it. I love intense salty flavors in my food. And if you love that just like me, MSG is actually something you can buy in the grocery store. It's usually on the spice or Asian authentic aisles of your grocery store, or it can be purchased online. So yeah. Consider this myth slid. Okay, so what do you think, guys? Are you a believer in MSG now? Do you still hate it? Are you still skeptical? Are you someone who claims that it's giving you headaches? Let me know. But yeah, that completes this episode. I will see you guys I will talk to you guys on the 24th. I promise. I will not miss another week. I will be here the 24th. We will be ready. All right, I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.